him.
How many times do I have to tell her?
Why doesn't he understand?
She never understands me.
I've done everything, but nothing worked.
Do whatever you want. Why does it have to be you? I'm tired of this.
We keep fighting all the time.
I don't know what she wants.
He's so insensitive.
Can she see that I'm doing for her to see?
He never listens to me.
I've done my best to make you understand. Who do you think I'm doing this for? You. You never understand me. There's no use.
I'm tired of all this. I'm really tired.
I don't think arguments in family life should be reduced to sunnatullah or decree. Like, before we start blaming Allah for something, let's first take a little bit more personal responsibility. But I think arguments in the family, especially over small things, right? Why did you leave the door open? Why? I told you to pick that up. Why did you never do that? Or, I thought I told you it's too cold in here. Turn the AC up. Why don't you care? Etc., etc. Right? These small little comments. It's not a fight. It's just a little comment. Where do they come from? I think there are two things that are happening. Sometimes it is actually small. Maybe you had a tough day, you're already annoyed, and now one little thing happens and you're triggered and you just you explode. But sometimes there's something deeper going on. And what I think most of the time, it is something deeper. What I mean by that is, I'll give you an analogy. Like, if you have a meal and you really like that meal, and then there's a fly. What do you do with the fly? You keep eating the meal, right? You swat the fly away, you shoo it, and the fly did not ruin your meal. The fly did not become a focus or an obsession. It was annoying. You just quickly got rid of it and you enjoyed your meal. But if something's actually wrong with the meal, like something else is going on, and then a fly shows up, you're like, I can't, even flies? Like, this is too much unbelievable, right? There's something else going on. And I think sometimes married couples, they don't actually talk about the real thing that's going on in their head. And because they don't talk about it, they just stay silent. It builds resentment towards the other person. So the husband starts resenting the wife starts resenting the husband. They're building this thing that I can't even talk to you. I can't even tell you. If you only knew what's going on in my head, right? So now I can't talk to you about the real thing, but the frustration is built up. Now all you need is a little bit of a spark and boom, like it could be a spoon in the wrong place and all of a sudden it's, seriously, small spoon like this? Am I a 5-year-old, etc.? But those comments are not about a spoon. Nobody cares about a spoon. They're actually coming from something deeper. So I think the key to understanding these problems, these kinds of communications, especially if they're happening over time, is that something much more serious, much more dangerous or difficult to talk about is not being talked about. And then the real question becomes, why are you not talking about it? I think most of the time people don't talk about these things because they don't feel safe. If I tell you, you're going to get really angry. If I tell you, you're going to start judging me. If I tell you, you're going to remember it. And even if right now you tell me, oh my God, I never thought you felt this way. I'm so sorry. Let's fix this. 3 days later, the I'm so sorry will become, I can't believe you said that. So even though you're nice right now, there's other versions of you that are not so nice. And they will use this same conversation that wasn't so bad, they will use it like a weapon later. And I don't want to have my own words and my own feelings be used as a weapon later, right? So instead, I'll just stay quiet, scream in my head, build the rage and the resentment, and then these small fights are going to keep happening. And then we'll say, it's sunnatullah, what can we do? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So I think it's a difficult thing. Marriage is not easy. And being vulnerable, being open, being honest about how you truly feel is not easy. And the other thing is that if you are open, then sometimes it doesn't go well. So you decided, I'm just going to say what I think, and I'm going to try to say it nicely, but this is what I'm feeling, this is what I've been going through. And the other person gets very offended. That's how you feel? Huh. You think you have feelings? I have feelings. Let me tell you about my feelings. Right? So what a person is doing is they're saying, your feelings cannot compete with my feelings. If you have hurt feelings, let me tell you, my hurt feelings are much bigger than your hurt feelings. So now there's a comparison of feelings. Instead of, let me put, if my wife told me something that hurt her feelings, but when she tells me something that hurts her feelings, it probably also hurts my ego, right? So I can't believe you didn't, do X, Y, Z. Oh yeah, well, you know what you didn't do? In my head, immediately, I might think, oh, well, if you think I did something wrong, here's 10 times more things that you did wrong. That's already in my head, planned out. Why? Because my ego cannot accept that I made a mistake. I would rather have you focus on your mistakes than me focus on my mistakes, right? If I really love my wife, if I really care for this person, and I've decided to spend my life with this person, then even if I think she's made 10 more mistakes, right now in this conversation, I'm going to tell myself, this is not the time for those discussions. This discussion is only and only about my mistake, whether or not she made a mistake or not. And I cannot use her mistakes and say, well, in reaction to your mistakes, I did what I did, which therefore it's not even a mistake. Right? So that's the programming we all have. We have self-defense mechanisms, right? But if I put my guard down and I say, you know what, that hurt you, and I don't want to see you hurt, and I'm going to try to address that. And you don't even bring up your stuff. You have stuff, but you don't bring it up, right? At least in that conversation, and by the way, there's going to be a lot of force inside you, especially Iblis, that come and say, you're going to let her win? You think she walks away and she didn't do anything wrong, right? And every neuron in your brain is telling you, just say it. Just say, by the way, you should also, you want to just slip something in, right? Don't do it. Let it just be about what she, felt. This also, what it does is it allowed her to feel that you are safe to talk to and you didn't make it about yourself. Right? You didn't make it about yourself. Now let's flip the script. Let's say you are bothered by something and you told her. She can say, oh yeah, you're bothered? What about my feelings? What about everything you do? And so now what did she do? She did exactly the same mistake. She made it about herself instead of about how you feel. If the husband and wife keep doing that, like they keep making it about themselves in every conversation, then over time, both of them learn that this person only thinks about who? Themselves. And the other one says she only thinks about her feelings and herself. My feelings don't matter. And he only thinks about himself and his feelings. My feelings don't matter. And if that's the case, then you start saying, why should I even talk to you? You don't care anyway. So you start talking to yourself. And once you start talking to yourself, small things become big things. That's where I think most petty arguments come from. Because if you really, really understand each other, and you're really open with each other and safe with each other, you know what happens? Even if there's a stupid spoon, you'll pick it up and put another spoon there and you'll be fine. It won't matter. It's not a big deal at all. And even you picking up that spoon and putting the other spoon there, your wife will notice and she'll know that that was an act of love. Because you could have said something cruel, but you chose to do something kind. Right? And you brought her a spoon too then. Right? And then you'll start noticing she could have said, you were expecting some sharp words, and instead of sharp words, she did something kind instead, and she didn't even bring it up. And internally you'll be shocked a little bit. Wow, that was nice. That felt nice. Sometimes the kindest things we do are not spoken. They're just, we don't pick on every micro annoyance. We don't pick on that, right? And then the last thing I'll say about this is like, a husband and wife live with each other. They go to the same bed. They wake up every morning. They see the ugliest of each other. They see the nicest of each other. They see each other's stress. They see each other's joy. They know things about each other that nobody else knows. So they also know what is the most annoying thing to the other person. Like they know that. If you notice that something annoys your wife, or you notice that something annoys your husband, and you find yourself doing that over and over again all the time, right? Like for example, you're sitting for dinner. He wants to go get the plate and get the food. You say, no, sit, I'll get it. Okay. Then you got it. But you didn't bring the water. So he's about to get it. Why are you getting up? I'm just going to I'm getting it. Because he likes to drink water first. Now you're married 3 years, 4 years. You already know very well he likes to drink the water first. Every time he's about to get the plate, I'll get it. And you bring the plate and you don't bring the water. Every time. That is not a mistake. That is mini revenge. You know he wants the water. You would rather annoy him. You would rather poke at him because this is just your way. Oh, I forgot. You didn't forget. Everybody knows you didn't forget. Because you know more than anybody else how he... And in fact, you'd put the water first normally. He could have gotten it himself, but you don't want that because you want him to be annoyed. You need that mini revenge. So once you keep doing that little by little by little, what is that going to develop? Even though you're family, even though you're married, even though you might have children together, even though you say you love each other, the words are becoming emptier and emptier because there's a level of revenge and anger and animosity that's also it's become a permanent part of the relationship. Annoying each other is a permanent part of the relationship, right? And so husbands will do this, wives will do this, and this is where one of the most beautiful teachings of our deen, قُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, say beautiful things to people. إِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ, you are on a very high character. Your morals, your behaviors towards people, your manners towards people are extremely high. So the Prophet ﷺ demonstrated high behavior towards even his enemies. My argument is, even if I am so annoyed with my wife, even if I'm really annoyed with my wife, my annoyance with her is not greater than my loyalty to my Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So even if I don't like her right now, I'm going to show her the best manners I can, not for her. I'm not doing it for her. I'm doing it because that's what my Prophet would have done. Alayhi salatu wasalam. So the mindset has to change. Because if you say, well, I'll be nice when she deserves it, or you'll say you'll be nice when he deserves it, then you'll never be nice because you don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. None of us are good enough.
Yes.
Mashallah.
Mashallah, what kind of explanation? Thank you so much.